guys. It was a great suggestion, and especially after all the Star Wars, because it was basically Star Wars. But I did love that they threw in like some alien stuff, some Planet of the Apes stuff. You know, it was awesome, a lot of fun. So now, yeah, I don't know what's next, but I love that. That was I might want to maybe watch more Mel Brooks stuff because I haven't seen any of them. Blazing Saddles. What else did I see in that when they went all like to the rental store and you could see? I think another one is Young Frankenstein, and that's it. I don't really know. I know there's a bunch, but I never really watched any of them, so we'll see. But thanks for watching along with me. My name is Kobe, and you've been watching Popcorn Roulette, and this is Cash. Bye.
Juice movie. I ran out of coffee, so like my coffee was like instant coffee that was super watered down, and I'm not a morning person, and it's a Monday. I'm struggling so much, but this was a very fun movie. They threw in like random things like the Planet of the Apes and that like weird creature like popping out from the belly. I was like, what is going on? It reminded me of a movie, but it couldn't have come out like, but it's a recent one, so I don't know now. Dang it, I don't remember the name, but like there were aliens that
Total masterpiece. Well, it should go without saying, but this movie was phenomenal. This has got to be up there with the likes of Airplane, with the constant jokes, one after another. It was so well thought out. It was so funny. I loved how self-aware this movie was, and I loved all the references to all these other— Hey, Toby! Toby loved it too. He's got wonderful taste in movies. Everyone, this is Toby. Toby, meet everyone. Come sit here with me while I just continue to gush about this movie. I feel like I have so many things that I want to say about this, but there was so much happening. I don't even know if I'll be able to cover it all. But back to all the references of all the other movies in this movie. There were references to Star Trek with the whole beam me up Snotty, The Wizard of Oz, The Temple of Doom. They actually said that one out loud. They actually referenced this movie in this movie as well. There was also a reference to Alien, and I feel like there's one more and I can't think of it right now. Also, I do want to bring up the fact that yes, I didn't realize that the president was Mel Brooks, and no, I can't tell you why. Okay, to be fair, I think it was just so early in the movie and there was so much going on and I was too busy trying to like pick up on all the jokes and pay hyper attention. And to be fair, he did look extremely familiar. I personally thought for a split second that Mel Brooks initially looked like the guy who plays Mr. Pinky from the more recent Hairspray movie. I know that same actor was also in the old Hairspray movie as well. I don't know why. Initially, my brain knew that I knew who that person was, but I don't know why it took Mel Brooks wearing makeup for me to be like, duh, obviously. So I'm ready for all y'all in the comments. Bring it on. But like I said, I'm going to allot myself exactly one big dumb moment per video. You know what they say, you can't have it all, and I'm bound to have these moments, especially when you make a lot of YouTube videos and you no longer have an inner monologue. You're bound to say something that sounds really dumb. But I will state for the record that I did figure it out and I did write that wrong. But the whole movie from start to finish was an absolute treat. It is now up there as one of my favorite comedies of all time. And I think my favorite part about this was it was so up my alley. It made all of these references to all of these things that I loved and grew up watching. And to tell you the truth, I'm telling you right now, I didn't state this in the intro, but I think it's funny. So I've always known that this movie was a thing, right? For the longest time, I was adamantly against watching this movie. For a long time, I had it in my head that it was going to be just so dumb and not really worth my time. I have watched several spoof movies throughout the years, and I know, well, at least for me, they're very much a hit or a miss. Generally, I go into these kind of movies really skeptical that I'm going to like it in the first place. I will say that Austin Powers is one of the biggest exceptions to that, but I can think of a couple other spoof movies that I watched and I was just like, no, that was a big miss. But this was not. This was absolutely fantastic. top tier level jokes. I feel like this was such a great start into all the Mel Brooks movies. Speaking of though, the part where he started reviewing this movie and then he was going down the line of all of the other Mel Brooks movies. I want to watch all of them, but especially a couple noteworthy ones that I've heard are just great. So Spaceballs, which done. Then there's Young Frankenstein, I believe, and another big one is Blazing Saddles. I am a huge fan of Gene Wilder. So where I feel like this was the best introduction that I could have got, I feel like going forward watching those two movies, it's just gonna get better from here. Once again, thank you so much for watching my reaction to my first time ever watching Spaceballs. And I do apologize for not realizing right away that that was Mel Brooks. I know I'm gonna hear about it in the comments. I am just prepared for it, but I'm gonna leave it in there because I hope you at least got something good out of it. I hope it made you laugh. And speaking of Mel Brooks, before I let you guys go, I just want to talk really quick about this hilarious interview that I saw with Mel Brooks. If you guys are also huge fans of Martin Short, I love him. I think he's one of the funniest people on the planet. He has this really well-known character by the name of Jiminy Glick, I think, and he's really well known for having these really over-the-top, so funny, super funny interviews. And there's this iconic interview that he does with Mel Brooks and them just bouncing off of each other. It is internet gold. I highly recommend watching a video of that interview. I will absolutely be looking forward to watching other Mel Brooks movies here on the channel. I don't know if I'm gonna get to all of them, but there were definitely 3 that I wanted to watch. Spaceballs being number 1, so I can check that one off the list. And the other 2, like I said, are definitely Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein. Also, I have to know what you guys thought about this movie down below in the comments, and I also wanna know what's your favorite Mel Brooks movie. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. This movie was absolutely the laugh that I needed today.
Eyes open! Pew pew! Oh.
Okay, obviously that movie was completely ridiculous, which is what it was going for. It did not take itself seriously in any way, which I thought was super funny. Like, some of the jokes were like so 6th grade boy, like Pizza the Hut and like Jam the Radar. So stupid. But you could just tell the cast had so much fun doing this. It was like everyone was the very opposite of their characters in Star Wars. I was proud that I recognized a couple other film references. Something like that is meant to be watched with somebody. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. Happy I saw it. I enjoy a parody. It was so ridiculous. I liked Airplane better, I think. But after seeing so many Star Wars films lately, I can appreciate the making fun of the sci-fi genre. Even just like the ship. And it just goes on and on and on, and on, like little things like that. It wasn't like a clever funny, like The Big Lebowski, for example, which I just watched, but just like a very silly funny that can be enjoyed. So happy I now watch Spaceballs. I will probably never watch it again, but you know, like the dog, the Mog, oh my gosh, I don't even
Right, that was Spaceballs. That was great.
That was really funny.
That was really funny, and it was, even though it was kind of spoofing some like sci-fi genres and movies and stuff, I feel like it was its own kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, I enjoyed the movie of Spaceballs. Sometimes like a spoof movie doesn't really have any coherent story or anything like that, but this had a story that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, no, it was good. All the characters were good, and the spoof portions were good. They were clever.
Right.
So yeah, it was a really fun movie.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun, and no, John Candy was great again. Mm-hmm. I'm super excited to watch more John Candy, and I don't know what was like Bill Pullman's first kind of role. I don't know if Spaceballs like was the beginning of his career or something. I know him from Independence Day, and that's pretty much it. And then The Sinner.
Right.
which is like very new. Rick Moranis.
He was a great villain.
Yeah, he was great. He
Great
was
comedic
a
villain.
very funny comedic villain. He had some of the best parts of just, watching himself and just getting utterly confused and just constantly slamming his head into everything he possibly could.
And his giant helmet.
Yeah. I know one of my favorite parts was Michael Winslow doing the sound effects for the radar after they jammed it. Oh my god, that was crack. I had no idea he was in this. And I know of Michael Winslow for being famous for like doing funny like sound effects. But I think he's primarily in Police Academy, which I've never seen any Police Academy movie. But I still know of Michael Winslow, and that
part was really good.
That was just so fun. I'm glad it was a longer part too. Like they kept that joke going because I was cracking up the entire time. Were there any like really funny parts for you?
I just like when they finally took their rings to form their lightsabers and they were fighting before the self-destruct button was hit. I think it was just clever. Their little one-off, like about the size of the lightsabers.
Right, the little innuendos and stuff.
Yeah, no, that was funny. The whole thing is just really clever.
Yeah, I liked just how easily he tricked Lone Star. Right? He just shook his hand, he took it, he's like, you idiot, like how'd you fall for that?
Yeah.
Another part that I didn't notice, but you did right away, when they jump through the closing doors and it's the stunt people.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, that's not them. And then they turn around, it's like, oh, that's just all other. And someone told me, I think in the comment section for, I want to say Blazing Saddles, that Mel Brooks puts Hitler in like all of his movies or a lot of his, but like ridicules Hitler kind of. When I saw the stunt man, it had like a little Hitler mustache, so I think that was his way of putting Hitler in a dress.
Yeah.
Which that's just pure comedy.
Yeah.
So I think that's true. I saw that in the comment section, and then I noticed that in that scene.
And then the alien scene.
The alien
scene.
The fact that they had, I forgot the actor's name, but I know he's also the villain in V for Vendetta. The fact that they got him back to do that scene over again, because they were just chilling at the diner, and I was like, wait a second, that guy's super familiar.
I know, and then they put it in like, oh, what did he eat?
That was great. But and the ending. When they transformed into the maid, I was kind of like, this looks like the Statue of Liberty, like not.
I kind of thought that too, but I was like, oh, she's missing like her spikes.
Yeah, and then they had the spikes came out for the eject scene, so that whole setup of them crash landing back on like Earth, I guess, and it being a reference to Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Like I should have picked up on that.
You got it quicker than I got it. I didn't get it until we actually saw
the apes. Yeah, but no, there was just a lot of it's a Mel Brooks movie, so just very a lot clever. Of very clever comedy with a good story and a fun time. That's what I was expecting, and that's exactly what I got. I don't know. I don't think there ever was a Spaceballs 2, but who knows? Maybe
there's a hidden one somewhere.
Maybe, or something. That was a lot of fun. We want to thank everyone for suggesting.
And I didn't watch credits of Airplane and stuff, so here we go. Well, that was Spaceballs. You know, as a Star Wars fan, it wasn't heavily linked to Star Wars. The characters were loosely based off it. I mean, it was kind of linked to Star Wars quite a bit, but it like had its own spin on it, sort of thing. And there was references from other films. The Planet of the Apes bit at the end was funny, even though I've not seen Planet of the Apes. Alien bit again, even though I've not seen Alien. Obviously, I just have a rough idea of the iconic scenes and stuff. The Jawas in this were great. Yoda was great. Obviously, there was no like Luke Skywalker or anything. I'm assuming Han. What was his name? Oh, I can't remember. What was his name? Something Solo. Lone Star. That's it. Oh, Jesus. I'm assuming he was like a mix between Luke and Han. Perfect length, by the way. I love when a comedy film like that is a perfect length. If they dragged that on like even like 10, 15, 20 minutes more, you would just start to feel it drag on, but that was a perfect length. It's the same with The Naked Gun. It's the same with Airplane and, you know, Scary Movie and stuff like that. But yeah, we're fully back. We're in the motion of doing stuff here. So be sure to hit like, subscribe. It helps the video get discovered and it helps the channel grow. That would be magnificent. You know, it's a silly film. It's not like a groundbreaking film. It's funny. 7.5 or an 8. Same as Naked Gun, Airplane, but I feel like Naked Gun and Airplane are just slightly like better. I don't know why, but that's probably because I don't know actually. I'm not sure why it's slightly better. It just got that feeling to it. But this was absolutely brilliant. You know, there's not even levels of goodness. It's so small and how like, different they are. Anyway, thanks for all the support lately. I do appreciate it, and I hope you stick around and we'll check out more.